Yeah.
All right. We are doing Nathaniel Ward, and we believe he is the most influential person of the century. This is a table of contents. It's not that important. Take it away with the background.
Okay, so in 1578, Nathaniel Ward was born in Haverhill in England. He had a pretty normal childhood. He was one of 3 siblings. His brother Samuel and another brother John. His dad was also named John, and he also named his son John. So they're pretty fond of the name. 1599, he graduated from Cambridge, so another Harvard guy. He studied law there and then went on to study law further. Later on in his life, he became a Puritan minister, an attorney, and an author, which we'll be talking a little about earlier. And he had resided in Ipswich, Massachusetts, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. So now Schneider is going to give us a little more information why he's the most influential man of the century.
All right. So Nathaniel Ward wrote The Body of Liberties, which was a code meant to rule over civil cases and criminal cases in all of New England. And when he created it, he wanted to fuse English common law and Mosaic law meaning coming from Moses and the Bible. 3 years before he started writing The Body of Liberties, another Puritan, John Cotton, he made a draft of a code called Moses His Judicials. This code was completely based on the Bible, and it relied too heavily on Scripture, so it didn't pass, and it really wasn't adopted. 3 years later, Ward submitted the first draft of his code, called The Body of Liberties, and he based it half on Cotton's code and half on English common law, which was the law adopted in Massachusetts and in England before the Body of Liberties passed. And before being enacted, Ward's code was edited, but in 1648 it was adopted and renamed The Laws and Liberties Concerning the Inhabitants of Massachusetts.
Okay, so the content of the Body of Liberties. So it was called for civil and criminal law up until the 18th century. One of the most important things it did was it limited capital crimes from 50 in English common law to 12. This gave people a lot more freedom, and this opened up so many new things. The next part is it reflected Puritan life and religion. This is because, as Schneider just mentioned, that it was based off Cotton's, which was based off Mosaic law or the Bible. So it had a lot of religion kind of incorporated into these laws. And finally, it was meant to guide the righteous and punish the wicked.
So, in revision, this is one of the earliest codes emphasizing personal freedom. There really wasn't another code of law which did it before Ward. So it was really, really revolutionary. Like I said, it was ahead of its time. And it even has some laws in it that back then people didn't really think of, but now we see as very important, as in it banned monopolies, which there were really none to ban at that time, but moving forward, we see that it's actually become very important in American society. And like I was saying, many laws from the Body of Liberties are still applied in Massachusetts law and in the United States law.
So after the Body of Liberties, he kind of continued writing. He became an author, and his most famous book is The Simple Cobbler of Agawam in America. He became the minister of a church in Essex, or the church at Shindes in Essex. And in October 1562, he passed away. It's unspecified how he died. Most likely just old age, maybe came down with a fever. And other than that, he really didn't do much more after the Body of Liberty. That was kind of the main part of why he was the most influential man of the century. And now, before we field any questions, we have a discussion question. So what laws that you can name in both state and national law derive directly from the Bible? And what do you think of these laws? Anyone think they can tackle it?
I would, but like, you don't cheat, you don't steal, stuff like that.
Yeah, the Ten Commandments.
And what do you think of these?
I mean, I think that just because they come from the Bible doesn't mean
Texas.